assessments, mechanics liens, and homestead exemptions. In the previous unit, we discussed property taxes, which is one of the involuntary liens. This unit completes the discussion of the other specific and general involuntary liens. We're going to talk about the topics on government assessments, mechanics liens, HOA liens, judgments, income tax liens, and the Arizona homestead exemption. All right, so you're going to need to do some independent studying. I'll go over the unit summary. And so before moving on to unit quiz, let's review these key points. So government assessments have second priority over all liens. So what has first priority? Property tax liens, right? That's what we learned from the first one. Property tax liens are the first, have priority over all liens. Government assessments have second priority over all liens. So the first one is property tax, second one is government assessments. So an improvement district is a special taxing district established by local government as a means of financing the construction public improvements such as streetlights, sewer lines, etc. Assessments on commercial property are normally levied on a front foot basis. A mechanics lien is a lien for labor or materials supplied to real property. On an owner-occupied residence, only contractors who have been hired directly by the property owner, which is the original contractor, may record a mechanics lien. Subcontractors may not. So, some people get confused. Oh, if you have a subcontractor, can they record the lien? No. The original contractor can record the lien. So only licensed contractors may record a mechanics lien for labor. So if you have someone who's not licensed and you don't pay them, can they put a lien on your property? No, right? Only licensed contractors may record a mechanics lien for labor, right? So that's a big deal here. Might be an advantage to hire a non-licensed contractor because they can't record a mechanics lien for labor. Mechanics lien must be recorded within 120 days of work completion. So after you complete the work, after so someone does a pull at your house, they have 120 days after they've completed the work to file a mechanics lien if they're licensed and if it's the original contractor. So it cannot be a subcontractor and it cannot be a non-licensed with the registration of contractors mechanics lien. Foreclosure mechanics lien must begin within 180 days of the lien's recordation. The priority of a mechanics lien is established on the day the work begins. So whenever the work began, that's going to be the day that is where the mechanics lien is established. If a tenant hires work without the landlord's permission, the contractor may place a lien only on the tenant's leasehold interest. So again, say you're renting out your house and the tenant wants to do some work with the licensed contractor. Well, that licensed contractor cannot place it on the home anymore. They can only place it on the tenant's leasehold interest. HOA assessment liens are subordinate to first mortgages. So you have an HOA assessment, you have a first mortgage. HOA is not going to be greater than your first mortgage. They're subordinate to the first mortgage. Property taxes and government assessments. So HOA liens are going to be subordinate to, highest is property tax, then government, then a first mortgage, then an HOA assessment. Right, they're the lowest on the totem pole. An HOA lien may be foreclosed if the lien is $1,200 or more, or has not been paid for more than 1 year. So an HOA lien may be foreclosed if the lien is $1,200 or more, or has not been paid for more than 1 year. HOA liens must be foreclosed judicially within 3 years of the assessment coming due. So they put a HOA lien on your house. You got 3 years. Liens must be foreclosed judicially within 3 years of the assessment coming due. In Arizona, judgments establish priority when recorded. So again, in Arizona, judgments establish priority when recorded. Judgments must be renewed every 10 years. So judgments, how long they have to be renewed? Every 10 years. Judgments are collected through levy and attachment proceedings. Income tax liens establish priority when recorded. IRS liens expire after 10 years unless extended. So IRS liens expire after 10 years unless it's extended. A homestead exemption exempts a portion of the homeowner's equity from attachment and execution of a forced sale due to non-payment of a judgment. A homestead exemption offers no protection against a forced sale due to foreclosure of a mortgage, trust deed, land contract, property taxes, assessment, or mechanics liens. The Arizona homestead exemption protects up to $150,000 of a homeowner's equity. So again, the Arizona homestead exemption protects up to how much? $150,000 of a homeowner's equity. Homestead exemption apply only to personal residences. So homeowner exemption only apply to personal. As is means seller will make no repairs. So number one, to make sure that the mortgage loan has a higher priority than a potential mechanics lien, what must happen? Bravo, the lender should record the mortgage prior to the beginning of work on the property. So the lender should record the mortgage prior to the beginning of work on the property. Alpha says the lender should record the mortgage prior to the mechanics lien. No, the loan must be for $750,000 and less. No, there must be a clause in the mortgage stating the mortgage has priority over the mechanics lien. No. Number two, a property that is in foreclosure has a valid homestead in effect. What is the status of the foreclosure? Charlie, foreclosure will continue as normal. So the foreclosure is going to continue as normal. So if a property that is in foreclosure has a valid homestead in effect, what is the status of the foreclosure? The foreclosure will continue as normal. Homestead will protect the equity. No. Homestead will delay the foreclosure. No. Lender may only obtain the amount over the homestead limit. No. To be effective, a mechanics lien for work performed by a subcontractor must be recorded within, bravo, 120 days from the completion of work. So subcontractors, they have 120 days from the completion of the work to record a mechanics lien. So is it 120 days from the beginning of the work? No, when they complete the work. So they're doing the work, they complete the work, they ask for the payment, you don't pay, and they put the mechanics lien when they complete that work. 90 days from the beginning of work? No. 90 days from the completion of work? No. Building a patio. A lumber company delivers bricks on July 1st, and work begins that same day. Work is completed on August 15th. The contractor is paid for labor materials on September 1st. 10 days later, the contractor goes bankrupt without paying the lumber company. The lumber company records a mechanics lien on the property as of September 4th. Mechanics lien is effective of when? So it's going to be Alpha July 1st. Why July 1st? Because that's when the work started. So the mechanic lien is effective the first day that the work starts. So when a lumber company delivers bricks on July 1st, and work begins that same day. A homestead exemption protects an owner. A homestead exemption protects an owner's equity from foreclosure due to non-payment of a recorded what? Of a recorded judgment. Homestead exemption protects an owner's equity. Homestead exemption protects an owner's equity from foreclosure due to non-payment of a recorded judgment. So mortgage, land contract, deed of trust, no. Which is not true of an HOA lien foreclosure. Charlie, it is foreclosed through a trustee's sale. It is foreclosed through a trustee's sale. That would not be true. So, not true in HOA lien foreclosure is that it is not foreclosed through a trustee's sale. So it may occur if unpaid dues exceed $1,200, yes. It may occur if dues are delinquent for more than 1 year, yes. It is foreclosed through a court action, yes. A licensed general contractor is hired and paid in full directly by the owner of a commercial property. The general contractor fails to pay the subcontractor for the work they performed. The general contractor then files bankruptcy, and the subcontractor files a mechanic's lien 125 days after completion of the work. In this situation, which of the following is true regarding the subcontractor? It is Bravo. The lien is not valid because it was not filed within the required time period. So mechanic's lien needs to be filed how many days? 120 days after the completion of the work. So the lien is not valid because the owner did not hire the subcontractor? No. The lien is not valid because the owner paid the general contractor in full? No. The lien is valid as long as a foreclosure action is taken with 100 days of recording the lien. What will not terminate a homestead exemption? What will not terminate a homestead exemption? Answer is C, buying other property. So if you buy other property, that's not going to terminate a homestead exemption. Selling the property, yes. Moving out of the property, yeah. Renting the property, yeah. It's going to terminate a homestead exemption. If you buy other property, that's not going to terminate. A preliminary title report reveals that a judgment is found on the property. To whom must the payoff be made? C, the attorney listed on the judgment. The attorney listed on the judgment. So the attorney listed on the judgment, that's who the payoff must be made to, right? So a preliminary title report reveals that a judgment is found on the property. So whoever the attorney lists on the judgment, that's who must be paid off. To whom must the payoff be made? Escrow officer, no. Escrow officer, pool title report, no. Listing broker, no. A seller sells a property to a buyer and has repairs done 30 days before the close of escrow. The buyer obtains a new FHA loan and closes escrow. After the closing, the contractor files a mechanic's lien, which is true. C, the FHA lender is in second position. The FHA lender is in second position. So a seller sells the property to a buyer and has repairs done 30 days before the close of escrow. The buyer obtains a new FHA loan and closes escrow. After the closing, the contractor files a mechanic's lien, which is true. So the FHA lender's in second position. So what's above all liens? Property, then government. So number one is property tax. Number two is government. Number three would be, whatever subordinated. So FHA or, HOA or any secondary subordinate. Mechanic's lien may not be recorded. No. FHA lender is in first position. No. The mechanic's lien is in second position. No. Which of the following is in the proper order of occurrence regarding judgments? So that's D. Lists, pendants, judgments, and execution. Which of the following is in the proper order of occurrence? So first, second, third. So first is list pendants, then judgments, then execution. So judgment, attachment, list pendants. No, list pendants is first, and judgment's always going to be second. Then the third is execution. Execution is always going to be last. So judgment, list pendants, attachment, no. Execution, attachment, judgment, no. So list pendants is always like you litigate first, then there's a judgment, there's execution. All the following people can file mechanic's lien except what? Charlie, a cleaning crew who cleans the premises twice a month. Right? They cannot file a mechanic's lien. Right? Your cleaning, crew, they can't file a mechanic's lien. How about an architect? Yes. A maintenance crew installing a drip system in the yard? Yeah. D, an electrician who rewired the house for a ceiling fan? Yeah. Cleaning crew cleans the premises twice? No. All the following statements regarding mechanic's liens are correct except what? Delta, it can be filed and collected at any time. So that is not correct, right? Statutes of frauds or there's, statutes. There's required time regarding that. It's 120 days after work is started. It must be recorded. Yes. It can be for labor only. Yes. It can be for materials only. Yes. D, it can be filed and collected at any time. No. When would a person qualify for a homestead exemption? So it is B, upon taking ownership and moving in. So when would a person qualify for a homestead? So, after you take ownership and you move in, you qualify for a homestead exemption. When they have lived in the property 2 out of the last 5 years, no. 18 months after ownership, no. When they have sold other investment properties, no. Mechanic's liens takes priority as of the date the alpha work begins, right? So when, you have a contractor comes over, builds you a pool, when does that priority take place? It's the day the work began. Lien is recorded, no. Work is completed, no. Foreclosure begins, no. All the following statements regarding IRS liens are true except what? Except C, they expire after 7 years unless extended? No. The lien priority is established when it is recorded? Yeah. They may delay or prevent the closing of a sale? Yes. They expire after 10 years unless expended? Yes. So C says they expire after 7. No, it expires after 10. Charges levied against specific properties which are benefited by public improvements are called assessments. C, assessments. So an assessment is charges levied against specific properties which are benefited by public improvements, right? So public improvements. It's going to be called an assessment, right? You assess, right? You're improving. You're going to charge levied against the specific properties which are benefited by public improvements are called assessments. Costs, no. Levies, no. Property tax, no. Which of the following would terminate a homestead exemption? Bravo. The property became a rental, so that would terminate a homestead exemption. The owner left the property for 30 days. No. The property was owned by a family trust. No. The house became the owner's personal residence. No. A contractor performs work authorized by a lessee. Right. The contractor, right, performs work and it was authorized by a lessee, not the leaseor, the lessee. The contractor can place a lien against the lessee's interest. Right. So bravo. So, it better, usually you want the lessor, the owner of the property, to do the work. But if the lessee hires the contractor and they don't pay the contractor cannot file mechanics lien against the house. It can only file mechanics lien against the lessee's interest. So the property itself, no. Leaseor's interest, no. Lender's interest, no. Which type of residence can a person own which would give the owner the greatest advantage under the homestead exemption? So it'd be a primary residence. Primary residence. So under the primary residence, can a person own? So again, what type of residence? Primary residence. Can a person own which would give the owner the greatest advantage under the homestead exemption? So vacation primary residence, no. Vacation residence, no. Unlimited residence, no. It's primary residence. Homestead. A firm supplies materials which are used in the construction of a building. If they are not paid, the firm can record a delta mechanics lien. So a firm supplies materials which are used in the construction of a building. If they are not paid, the firm can record a mechanics lien. Delta mechanics lien. So a firm supplies materials which are used in the construction of a building. If they are not paid, the firm can record a mechanics lien. So, it's getting a little wordy, but a firm or a contractor, same thing. So, can the firm record a judgment? No. Attachment? No. List pendants? No. A statement signed by a contractor by which the material supplier's claim or right to a lien is terminated is what? Is the lien waiver. A lien waiver. So a lien waiver is a statement signed by a contractor by which the material supplier's claim or right to a lien is terminated. Is a lien waiver. Lien waiver. Is it a subordination agreement? No. Mechanics lien? No. Materialsman's lien? No. For a mechanics lien to be valid, the contractor must alpha file a pre-lien notice within 20 days. So for a mechanics lien to be valid, the contractor must file a pre-lien notice within 20 days. So basically it gives the homeowner, right, the opportunity to pay the contractor, because that's all they want. They want to get paid. Right, so you got to give them a pre-lien notice for 20 days before that mechanics lien can be filed on the property. Begin a foreclosure within 1 year of recording the lien. No. Record the lien within 120 days from the start of work. No. Be licensed, bonded, and insured. No. Who does not have the right to record a mechanics lien? C. A subcontractor who installed tile in a homeowner's remodeled bathroom. Right. So only the original contractor can file mechanics lien. The subcontractor cannot. It's the original subcontractor. And they have to be licensed. That's the big deal here. So if you hire someone from like Home Depot or some unlicensed person, can they file a mechanic's lien? No. They have to be registered with the registration of contractors, Arizona registration, ROC. So a subcontractor who install plumbing in a new office building, yes, they can file a mechanic's lien. A contractor hired by a homeowner to build a pool, yes. A subcontractor who upgrade electrical panel on a rental home, yes. Subcontractor who installed tile, no. All right, so next is going to be Unit 38.